Okay, so we are now going to go ahead and replace the brakes on our independent suspension from MORryde. And I should have done this in the previous video where we were changing or we were repacking the wheel bearings, but I wasn't prepared. So I ordered the brakes. I'll put all the part numbers and everything, at least for the Kodiak brakes that I have on my system. And I'll put all the part numbers you need. And the tools. Tools aren't as much, and it's not really a hard job, but I'll give you a step-by-step process of what I did and some things I encountered along the way. Let's get going. Okay, here are the tools you're going to need. Let me get the tripod, you won't need that. You will need you don't have to have an impact wrench, but it just speeds things up. So you'll want an impact wrench. You're going to want your torque wrench, strong arm. You're going to want some blue Loctite. Mine requires a 1/2 inch socket, or not a socket, but a 1/2 inch wrench. You're going to want and you can use a wrench or this. I just didn't have this size in a wrench, and this is a 5/16. That's to open the bleeder valve. A C-clamp and some vice grips. I will be using the same ramp process I did to get the wheels up off the ground. That seemed to work pretty well for the wheel bearings. So we're going to do the same thing for the brakes. And I will also use the floor jack again to get that wheel up and off the ground. I've got the truck running to warm up a little bit, and I'm going to be raising the front landing gear. We'll pull it up on the ramp, and then we will lower the landing gear again and take the pressure, off of the bed of the truck and keep it from rocking around too much. All right, so let's do that. All right, so we're gonna take our 1/2 inch wrench. First of all, see, that spins nice and freely. All right, we'll take our wrench. Remember, it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey from the orientation of the bolt going in. I always get that mixed up, so let's see. That would be righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, so it should be up. Oh, one thing I forgot to add, again, it's not necessary, but you're gonna need some more brake fluid, and you will need a hose. So I ended up getting one of these vacuum pumps for pulling a draw on the brake line and then collecting the fluid, and it works. But I don't think you need to have it. I think as long as you have a way to hook the hose to the bleeder nipple, if you will, and let it drain into something just to collect it, you'll be fine. I like to keep an extra block of wood around to rest this on, to keep any excess strain relieved on that hose. So now that we've got the bolts loose, this just slides right off. Then I can take that and set that right there. This brake just pops out. This one here, there are these two pins, one here and one here, that need to be bent back to allow this to come out. I couldn't find any other way to get that out. And the brake shoes, the brake pads that I got, they're straight, so you have to bend the new ones in place. And that is where these come in handy. Oh yeah, these guys were needing some replacements. So I'm glad I decided to go ahead and do that now and not wait till the spring. Now, the reason for the C-clamp is you need to push this piston back into the to the housing. And before you can do that, we need to loosen the bleeder up to allow us to release that pressure from the line. All right, she's loose. And I just use the old brake and kind of set it in there like so. Grab the C-clamp. Okay, I made every effort, and it still spilled out on the ground. Dagnabbit, it'd probably been better to take a hose and just dump it straight into the little jug there. Man, oh well. All right, so that has been pushed back. Remove the C-clamp now. We'll tighten this back up. And you don't over tighten these things, they're just snug. All right, so that piston's been pushed back. And we are now ready to put our new brakes in. All right, new brakes. Check these tabs. They oftentimes aren't positioned correctly. So I've just been taking them and pushing this back a little bit and this down just so that I can get it in place like so. And then this is the one I was telling you about where these pins need to be bent in order to lock this in place. So this goes in this way. So these pins need to be bent upward. So what I've been doing is just taking this and just giving it a slight bend to start. If this is not the right thing to do, or it doesn't matter, let me know. I walked down the street and talked to a mechanic friend of mine, and he said he would bend them in place. I just figured they were put that way from the factory for shipping, but I could be wrong. Let me know. Just a slight bend, and I'll show you how I pinch these in place later. So this is going to go in like this, and you're gonna rock that in. So it's gonna look like that. And next, we're gonna take our vice grips, and we're going to expand them out a little bit, and we're just going to basically pinch these in position like that. I'll show you. You may have to do this in two phases. One to get it started to bend, and then again to crimp it all the way in position. So there's my first one. Okay, I felt that one go that time. All right, and now let's tighten this up a little bit more just to give it a little bit more of a bite. Okay, that's about as tight as I can get it with my weak old hands. All right, this guy is ready to go back on. So we're gonna wiggle that in place a little bit. Okay, that one's gotten started. And all right, they're both started. Oh wow, she's spinning freely. All right, so we're gonna go hit the brakes and start pinching those together, and we should get a little bit more of a sound. Oh yeah, that is what I expect to hear. A little bit of friction. All right, we can put this wheel back on and we'll call this one done. So next thing you want to do is get you some good brake fluid, get what's approved for your pump. In my case, it's .3 or .4, and top off that reservoir. Just stick your finger down there. If you feel it wet, then you've got it good. Also check it again shortly thereafter, after taking it for a spin, to make sure that you don't have any leaks and that all the bleeder valves are tightened up. And you should be good to go. So we're going to take this for a spin, check for anything wrong. Now, one of the things I forgot to record, but I did, was torque the bolts for the calipers, and I think it was 50 pounds. I'll have to double check it. That's what I torqued them to, at least I think. I don't know. Double check your what the torque should be, but I'll put the actual torque specs in the description. But that is it. I mean, that, if I didn't record, I could have had this job done in less than 30 minutes, and that's taking my time. That's per wheel, and that's taking my time, making sure that everything's stable, secured, because the last thing you want to do is have this rig topple over on you. All right, hey, if this has been helpful, please give me a thumbs up, like this video, make sure you share it with your friends, with people that have any kind of suspension or brakes, especially disc brakes. Please share that with them, and know that this is not a hard job. It's just dirty, it's messy, and probably should be done along with the wheel bearing repacking. All right, until next time, I'll talk to you soon.